Hello, this is Kilo Echo 8 Oscar Whiskey Delta. On my first video from my POTA gear, I mentioned that I would do a follow-on video of my radio storage box, which I use an old Dewalt toolbox, and got a couple of comments that people did want to see that. So here's that video. Just today, I was in a local resale shop, junk store, and I was able to pick these cases up. These are all Dewalts, for about $1 a piece. Actually, for $1 a piece. And so that prompted me to do this video. One of the things I was waiting on to do that was a box or two to show actually how I modified the boxes. Now, Dewalt makes, and so do the other companies. Nothing for Dewalt, nothing against Dewalt. I like Dewalt tools actually, but they make two kinds of cases. One like this one that is completely injection molded. It's got a steel rod through as a pin. I think it does. My others did. As a hinge pin, and then some fairly decent latches. That's one method, and you can see it's got a single wall thickness, and then it has these vertical dividers in it. The other option that they make is this kind. Some have living hinges. Some, like this one, has what looks to be more of a snap hinge. I'm actually not sure how that's installed. Maybe it's a snap in. Anyway, but this is a double walled. I would say it's probably roto molded, if I were to make a guess. Maybe even welded. I don't know where that stud can. Oh, it's plastic. Yeah. So those are the two styles. Personally, I like the single walled style better. However, the bigger cases tend to be this double wall. So I'll get my tools out here and do a quick demonstration on how I cut these liners out. There's two different ways I've done it. You can do it with a utility knife. I would just say I'm not that brave, but we'll get the extras off the table, and I will go about opening these guys up at least a little bit so that you can see the process. Note, as you can tell by the lighting, I am outside. I would not recommend doing this in the house. One, especially if you're using the Dremel, it tends to generate smoke, or at least stink. And two, it is a little bit of a messy process. So doing it outside will save you having to do extensive cleanup in your house. Believe me, been there, done that. So just a minute, I'll be back once I get this extra stuff off the table. All right, method one is using roto tool. This one happens to be a Dremel. I have used the Craftsman version as well. They work just fine. I'm sure there are other brands out there. And it simply use a rotary cutoff tool. This one has seen some better days, but for this it should work just fine. I like using the metal cutting versions because they tend to last longer, although they also can gum up and heat up and cause damage. The other thing I want to mention is I'm sure that there's lots of people out there that use the Pelican cases or the imitation Pelican cases from Harbor Freight. I agree 100%. Those are much better tools, cases. But the job of this is not to keep my radio or whatever else I might be storing in it dry and pristine in a hurricane, but simply to provide bump protection as I travel to and from local parks to do POTA. Parks on the Air, if you're looking at this from something else, is a ham radio activity. So, without further ado, I'll cut this bracket off with the Dremel, and then I'll fire up the other tool, and we'll see how the difference it goes. Oops. So as you can see, fairly quick and easy. It does take it down. Does do a little bit of work, does do a little bit of damage, but no repercussions on the outside. That's right about here. Yeah, right about there. So you can see there's no even blistering of the paint or anything. So come back in a second after I swapped out my power cables and show you the other tool that I use. Alright, this other rib and divider. Actually, I think I'm going to leave some of that rib because I'm sure that adds stability to that long space. Although there's not one on the other side. Yeah, maybe I'll just take it out. So the other tool that I use is a Harbor Freight Chicago tool, oscillating. Let's see, multifunction power tool, oscillating multifunction power tool. It's got this little head on it, and when you turn it on, it vibrates back and forth, kind of like a saw. Very similar to what they use to cut off casts. So again, I'll go on to show you how this works. Obviously that needs a little more cleanup, but you get the idea. I'm not going to bore you with watching me do this whole thing. I'll switch angles a little bit again and show you on the other version how that works, and we'll be right back. Alright, so this one appears to be some sort of a saw box. I see spot to hold circular, looks like blades. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut along this line here to remove just this inner box. Now, some things like this pocket tend to be sonically welded, or maybe just cast all the way through, so I may end up having to cut out this pocket and then trim it short once I get to the inside. Same may also be true over here for this well for the what looks to be for saw blades. So here we go. So as you can see, it has the double wall construction. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out off camera, and then I'll bring you back and give you a quick look at what it looks like when it's done. Just because A, it's hard to work one-handed, and B, you don't need to watch that. So we'll talk to you in a few minutes. Okay, after about, I think, 5 minutes of work or so, this is what I've come up with. I was able to get that top out. I did have to separate that cone-looking piece in the middle. As you can see right here, it was in some way, shape, or form fixed to the, there it is, fixed to the, between the two halves. And there's the other half. I'll probably go along with this and clean up this edge, make it a little prettier, maybe smooth it down with the Dremel so I don't scratch myself on it. I'm good at that kind of thing. Scratching myself, that is. But this is one of those double-walled cases, like the saw case that we just looked at. And as you can see, I've trimmed it away and made up an opening space. And that's where my FT891 sits when it's not either on my desk as my ham shack rig, or in the field. And like I said, I'll do that as a separate video, just because that way you don't have to sit through both halves unless you want to. My guess is it's a bad decision either way. But anyway, there's the how I converted the box into an open box from a Dewalt toolbox. Again, Milwaukee, Makita, and probably everybody else has very similar boxes. And my guess is that they show up in the resale shops just as often as these do. And I just happen to find the Dewalts more than anything else. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. Keep your eyes open for the other one. If you want to take a look at how I actually mounted the radio into this box. And 73 Doug Kilo Echo 8 Oscar Whiskey Delta. Thanks again. Bye.